Welcome to TechBrothersIT. In this video, we are going to take a look how to read data from Azure SQL Database by using stored procedure and write to the warehouse table in Fabric. So first of all, let's go to my workspace here, and this is the workspaces. I have sales workspace, and in the sales workspace, I have different folders created. One of the folder is called warehouse, and warehouse contain two warehouses. One is called tech warehouse. So tech data warehouse, if you go to the schemas here, DBO, and then go to tables, I have a few of the tables there. My goal is to read the data from Azure SQL Database. If I will go to the portal.azure.com, and here is my SQL server, and you can right click, actually click here and go to the SQL server, click on that one, and you will see the fully qualified name for server name. And then if you go to the databases, you will see Tech SQL DB is my database. I have opened the query window by clicking here, and that's how I'm just taken a look. So if I will show you query editor, and then I have connected, and this is the window I am working with. So if you see here, I have this table called customer, and now what I would like to do, I would like to create a store procedure first, and then use in our pipeline. To create a store procedure, it is very simple. So we'll say create procedure, and then let me just say create procedure, and then the name of the procedure, I'm going to call it extract customer, and then we say begin, and begin, and then we say end. Okay, inside this store procedure, we can simply write the select query, and I don't have whole lot logics to put here, but my goal is not to make it complex. So my only goal is I just want to show you how to create a store procedure and how it will work. So if I execute, and that's our store procedure ready. Now what we can do, we can execute this store procedure, and it's gonna run the select query what we have inside. Now in your case, it might be very complex. Maybe you have 20 different tables, and you have some parameters as well. But in my case, I don't have those scenarios. Also, if I want to change, maybe I want to say top 5 record, and I can do that. So here, and now I can alter my store procedure. So now in that case, if I will execute and run my store procedure, it is going to return me only top 5 records, and you can see right here. Now let's go to the Fabric, and here we will be going to the workspace, and in the workspace, sale workspace is my workspace where I'm working. I have created these folders to keep items in specific folders. I have pipelines folder here, and that's where I'm keeping my all pipelines. I'm going to go to the new item here and select a data pipeline. Let's give a number 07, and I'm going to call this one SP to warehouse. Okay, so this is going to run the SP on the Azure SQL side and get the data to the warehouse table. Now we click on the pipeline activity here and select the copy data, and now I'm going to move the copy data here. Let's make this window a little better, and now we go to the source. Here I'm going to create a new connection. Let's go and hit more, and here we will select Azure SQL. And once I type that, it gave me the option Azure SQL DB. That's what I want. Now if I go back to my portal in azure.com, here is a SQL server that I would like to select, but I need to provide the full name here. So I'm going to copy this name here, TechBrothersServer.database.windows.net. So I copied that one and pasted it here, and now it is asking me what is the name of the database. So now let's take a look on the database name, and here we'll go under the setting and the SQL databases, and that's the name of the database. So I'm going to copy the database name here and come back here and paste. Now next part is asking me, hey, for the connection, you want to create a new connection or use the existing one. I have already created, so but I'm going to create a new one. So I'm going to call this in Azure SQL connection. But you would not be creating over and over new connection every time. I will suggest use the one you have if it is pointing to the same server and database. Now let's go back here, and then we have SQL server here, and you see that this is a user I need to use. So it's a SQL user. In your case, you might have a different user, so use whatever the user has permissions. So I'm going to provide the password for this one and hit connect. It is a successful. I can test connection again after it is created, and now we are going to select the store procedure. So I can select store procedure here, and now I will go scroll down here, and it is showing me the store procedure. If I just want to even take this query and just go to the query here and say execute store procedure, this will do the same thing. But as it is already have provided me facility to check from the drop down, I'm totally fine to select from there. Now I can hit preview data, and it's going to run the store procedure and show me those records. Remember that we are only selecting top 5 records, and that's what it is showing us. Now let's we don't have any parameters for store procedure, so we are not doing much here, but I will create more videos on this one, so no worries at all. Now let's go to destination. Here in the destination, we are going to go scroll down all the way to our warehouse, and tech data warehouse is the warehouse we would like to write the data. Now it is asking, hey, use existing table or you want to auto create table. In my case, I'm going to go with auto because I don't have that table as of now. If I would have, I would just simply select from the drop down list. So now let's create this one and go to the say DBO, and I'm going to call this one Azure Customer Data Warehouse. Okay, so that's the table name, and then you can go to advanced here, and if you want to put some default value for some column, you can always select that. In my case, I'm keeping everything as is, so I'm not gonna select, so I just remove that. If you want to truncate the table or run some other script maybe before even run the pipeline, you can always use it here. So before the copy process start, you can run these script before the it's called pre-copy script. So most of the time you will be truncating the table and then using it, so that's where this part comes mostly. You have write batch timeout, so you have 30 minutes, and the disable performance metric analytics, so you can enable or disable, is your choice. Now we will go to mapping here, and in the mapping we are going to hit on import schemas. Okay, here is the schema, and we can see the source columns, and here is the data type of those columns, and here are destination columns, and here are the data types in the destination. We can rename if we want. In this case, let's say you want to say phone number is or cell, so that will be working just fine. So you can map it. If you want to delete some columns, let's say email, you can always delete from here. So I'm going to leave everything as is, and now we are all good. We are going to hit save button here, and then we will execute our pipeline. Let's hit run button to execute. It's going to go through some of the activity status such as queue, in progress, and finally it will go to success or failure. So let's wait for the success or failure, and then we will be good to go and see the table. Meanwhile, if you are interested and can't wait, you can always go to the warehouse, and then you can refresh. Once you refresh, you should be seeing the table. Okay, here it is, Azure Customer Data Warehouse. We can click right here and say new query and select the top 100 rows. As of now, there isn't really any rows because our pipeline is not completed yet. So we can execute one more time, and now it is completed successfully and loaded the data. So you can see that, and also we got the message like pipeline has completed successfully. Let's go back to the pipeline here, and then we are going to click on this copy data one to see more details. It's telling me, hey, I have selected the data from Azure SQL Database. There were 5 rows, those were selected. It wrote the data to the staging area, and then finally wrote the data to the warehouse. And 5 rows are written. The status is successful, time, start time and end time is there as well. And you can see how much time it took to write to the staging, and then finally staging to the destination. That's let's close it. If you go to advanced, it tells you you have executed this pipeline manually, so that's fine. Now we are all good here, and what can be done, let me show one more thing. If I go back here, we have already seen the data. Now as the table is created, maybe I just want to go ahead and make some changes to the pipeline. Let's go to the pipeline again, and here we go to the copy and go to destination. See right here, it says auto create table every time, so it means every time it's going to create the table. I'm gonna go to change to the use existing, and now I will be selecting the table. You could have enter manually if you want, so it gives you option to enter manually, but if you don't, you can always just select from the drop down. So this is the table we have selected. Now if you see that this table is there, and if I will don't do anything, is go to advanced here. Let me see. And now here, if I want to truncate this table every time, I can truncate, otherwise it's going to keep writing the data to this table. So let's just keep writing to this table, and let's save this pipeline, and we will run this pipeline one more time. Now if we run this pipeline, our table should get another 5 records, and now we should have 10 records in our table. Let's go to the pipeline data warehouse here, run our query, and check the records. As of now we have only 5 records. Our pipeline is still in progress, and we can always see the input here, and if you want to see more details here, so you can see that this is a store procedure we are running, and then query timeout is right there, and no partitioning is done, a database name is this, and there is tons of more information. You can take a look. Now this has completed successfully. I'm going to go back to the warehouse and run the select query. If I run the select query this time, I should have 10 records, and you can see right here there are 10 rows, because we have selected a table, and also we are not truncating this table before reloading. So I thank you very much, and I hope you learned something good out of it. Please subscribe my channel, and I will see you guys in the next video.